Oh, there he is. Hi, everybody.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Live from Rabs, episode 33, live from inside Rabs Country Lanes.
Here we are.
We're starting the show off with our pet of the day. If we can get our pet of the day to relax. Hi, Presley. We have Presley live in studio. Naz, tell us about Presley.
Well, we got Presley about 4.5 years ago, and it was after we lost our lab Elvis that we had for 9 years, and that was a pretty brutal loss. I know some of you have lost pets, and that was pretty bad. And I actually vowed was not getting another pet after that. But you know, we started looking around. Yes, please. Started looking around and caught a picture of this little guy on a rescue, and decided to go take a look with no promises. And we just fell in love. He's a great dog. He's a mutt. He's a mix of I'm not sure. We're pretty sure he's part beast, part lab, and part
Yes, how much does he weigh?
He weighs about 90 pounds. He's a big guy. Super smart.
Hey, Presley.
And yeah,
he's so smart he can't even turn around.
Oh, because she's the one that's got to give the command.
Oh.
He only listens to whoever's got his treats. Smart, like a guy.
Don't we all? Oh, yeah. Real nice. Yeah, you too.
But yeah.
Well, so, Presley, welcome to the studio.
He's been a nice addition to our family.
Good boy. The pet of the day, everybody.
He's the live pet of the day.
Live and in studio. 90 pounds, you know how tall he is? I mean, how tall are you, Liz?
5'9". Come up. Everybody, how tall you are? Come on.
You just did it.
Yeah, he needs a treat.
Oof.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's Presley, and yeah.
It's nice to have Presley here.
It is nice. He likes it.
Thanks, Presley.
Here.
Thank you, Liz. See you later, dude. I don't have any treats.
He likes it when nobody's here. He also likes when people are around. He's very sociable and loves people. And he loves to, because right now we let him run up and down, so he likes that. So
he hasn't cracked yet.
No, he is so. I will have to say, this is probably the easiest dog I've ever trained.
Well,
he trained very simple. It was crate training, and I know some people think it's mean, but I will tell you, he's great. When he's got to go, he lets us know. We actually have a bell that hangs on the back door that he rings when he has to go out.
Check that out. We our last two dogs, we crate trained, and that because their bed, they have their space. They know.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, until
everybody has their opinion on training, but it worked even for little dogs.
He liked being in the crate. You know, he used it for comfort and a place to sleep. So yeah, he's not a puppy anymore. He's actually 4.5 years old. So
he's a big puppy.
He's a big boy. He's a big boy.
Well, thanks for sharing, Presley.
And he has a lot of hair, let's say, and a big tail. So
yeah, that tail can do some damage.
Yeah, and it has wiped stuff off coffee tables and yeah.
What does he like to steal off the table?
I will tell you, my lab was much worse. He's not bad at all. I mean, we could leave food there and he will not touch it.
Wow.
My lab, we had to honestly, if he could get to it, he would have eaten it. He would have eaten it. Like he would actually, if you were walking and you had something in your hand, he would actually try to snatch it out of your hand.
That's so funny.
Yeah, the lab, because I think labs are more hunters, so I think they have a tendency to be more food stealers. But this guy's he's really good. I'm trying to think of what he's a mix of, and it'll come to me eventually.
Yeah, you'll remember at the end of the show.
Yes, I will.
Fun. So for paying attention in the feed, Brian, you were right today. 2:05. We happened to jump in today. The last few days we're struggling with getting in here sooner, but we appreciate your patience and hanging in there with us. Today we should be relatively smoother. I don't want to not jinx it, but
no, let's not jinx it. But yeah,
this might be the smoothest Thursday, so that's what we're going to hope for.
Oh, that's right. It's Thursday.
And Kevin wants to put Dennis in detention for being late today. That's wonderful. Brian likes dogs, not people. Oh.
They do say dogs are a very good judge of character, so maybe I'll have Presley come down here and judge. Do a little walkthrough.
Yeah. Oh God. No, that's never mind. Hey, so we got a great show today. It's Thursday, so of course we're talking about food. We have our food guru, Staten Island's food guru, Pam Silvestri, on the horn with us today. Our friend, Dr. Adrienne Ferretti. The weather's changing. And
it's not changing fast enough.
It keeps going back and forth. So
yep.
We're going to talk a little bit about what's happening out there from our fig experts, because that's something us Italians have in our yards, and we have fig trees out in the front here.
I have a little baby fig tree that I'm starting to grow, so I could use some.
We'll talk a little bit about gardening too. Hey, before that, you heard it here first. The other day we decided to kick off, and we're launching Rabs Got Talent. A virtual talent show while you're home. You're going to showcase your talent. So we just set it all up and posted it a little before the show. So visit bowlatrabs.com /talent for the details. We've got an elusive prize. There'll be a voting period after the submission deadline is May 15th.
Listen, I've already lined up a couple of contestants, very talented people. So I'm hoping the rest of you are going to step up, whatever your talent is. And submit a video.
My talent is not having any talents. That's not true. But I mean, yeah, that's fine. You don't have to showcase your talent with us. But yeah, please submit your videos. We want to see it. You're already doing it in the social space. So we want to hear from you. Share your video. It's easy through our website. May 15th deadline. We'll talk about it for the next few weeks.
Dancing, gymnastics,
guinea pig races.
Guinea pig races. We've already seen that,
which we had here. And we're going to bring the winner on the show. There'll be a voting period after the deadline, so you will get your chance to vote on the best talent. We're figuring it all out, but we're excited to launch it today, and we want to see you guys participate. So, hey, it's Food Thursday, and that sound.
Oh, here it is, people. You heard it.
Pam, did you hear that sound?
A bowling alley. Sounds right.
Isn't that awesome?
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, we like that sound.
Yeah, I like that sound too, especially since it's just kind of quiet around here, or CBS FM, or two little boys punching each other and screaming and you hurt me. And I wanted to bring on my son just real quick. And hello, everybody. Hello to Anne and Arthur and everybody who tunes in regularly. I just wanted to show you, since you're showing off your dogs, I wanted to show off our baby bunny. Do you mind?
No, not at all.
All right, here we go. Baby bunny. This is my son, Andrew.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, Andrew.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Oh, how cute. Oh, my dog.
What's the bunny's name?
We don't really name them. Like maybe the neighbors, because the neighbors are pretty young. They named it after his favorite kitty cartoon. So
that's cool.
He's cute.
He is very cute. He is one of 5. No. Ooh. I don't know where he's trying to go.
Great nose. So we have 2 pets of the day live.
2 live pets.
That's
I
awesome.
love it.
Thanks for sharing.
What's the other pet?
My dog was just on.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
It was the first time we had.
I think he sees the dog, and the dog's probably thinking that
he doesn't
he's
know.
gonna eat him. So.
I don't think he knows what is going on, right?
Ooh.
So you keep the rabbits?
Yeah, sometimes we sell them off, but that's very rare. You know what I mean? We keep them, and they make more. And this is This is like the first litter in a long time, like maybe a year. So, yeah, 1 of 5.
So how many rabbits do you have?
9 now, I think. 9.
Oh, that's a lot.
A lot
Okay.
of babies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
One of them's pregnant. So,
Woof.
Oh, so you're gonna have even more.
yeah.
Well, thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Andrew.
Stay safe and healthy. Bye, guys.
How cool.
Love you. Thank you.
What would Presley do if the rabbit ran by him?
Oh, he would chase it for sure. I don't think he would do anything to it because it's weird because he has a very gentle mouth. Even when he picks things up, his mouth he doesn't like chomp on it, but he would definitely catch it. He might swat it a little bit with his paw. Let's not talk about that.
Anyway, so Pam, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm getting a kick out of the fact that everybody takes bets on when you get on to the show. That's great. I thought it was just me. I thought it was just Food Thursdays and,
No, it's
It's every day. We try to keep them guessing. And you know what? It's now become more of a game for us.
Right. It's a little interactive thing between themselves before we even get here.
It's great. Everybody makes friends. It's all a win-win.
So we plan for live at 2. And I mean, it just, you never know. You never know what's going to happen.
You never know. That is the truth.
I'm getting a lot of inquiries about figs already. And I thought that would be interesting, to talk about. So
That's perfect.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've got our everybody's everybody that's home. We were talking about this last week in gardening and getting your gardens ready and being prepared. And what does it look like? Because this weather has been really unpredictable.
Yeah,
very much so.
I know. Are a big part of what we enjoy.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I was just also I like to stay tuned to what's going on, like in the green market. The green market's every Saturday,
right,
on the mall and at the St. George location behind the St. George Theater. And some of the things that are starting to come in at this time are beets. We're seeing dill, things like that, some herbs. So anyway, I had this nice recipe that I was hoping to put up at some point it's a beet soup with dill. And it's something that was provided by the Children's Aid Society, which does a free or it's like it's a whatever you want to give, like $10, $20 they give you a basket of produce once a month. So if you go on to the Children's Aid Society Go Healthy Facebook page, you'll see that they have signage that basically directs you to when they have these things. It's about once every 3 weeks.
That's really cool. We've been getting beets, and of course they're nice and big. The big beets
and different color ones too.
Yeah, and we've been roasting them. I roast them on the barbecue. I like to. I wrap them in foil with olive oil, salt, and pepper. Let them sit for 45 minutes. Let them blister. I've even done them on the rotisserie.
Very nice. That's a good idea.
And then you take them off. They're so good.
I haven't done that.
They're so good. They're nice and it's a better alternative than eating that baked potato, which we don't want.
Right.
But they're so good that way.
Well, it's funny because beets go really well with a couple of things. Goat cheese, for one thing.
Yeah.
And also it goes well with feta cheese, like salty, because beets have a lot of sugar in them. I'll tell you a silly story, but when I was when I had my 2 children, 11, 12 years ago, I made all their baby food from scratch. And I went to the green market for a couple of weeks in a row, and I kept getting red beets. And so, first time mother, with my older guy there, Andrew, and I kept feeding him beets. I kept pureeing it into his food with the lentils and everything else. And then all of a sudden the diapers were like, it looked like he was bleeding.
Yep.
So anyway, that's what happens with beets. But I also, the other thing that I thought was interesting with red stuff, and Mother Moose Bakery in Travis did years ago when I was getting cupcakes and cakes for my kids for a birthday party. They said to me that at that time they didn't do red cupcakes for children's parties because the parents would get alarmed that when it came out that there's some kind of red thing going on. So I thought that was, anyway, no more
Hey, so I want to come back to the figs because we've got some special guests and we'll talk about that. Hey, what's happening in the food scene first? So,
Yeah.
you know, as Pam goes live every morning at 9 a.m. and talks about, gives her diary and an update on the food scene. So what's happening?
Well, we have a lot going on. Places are opening and closing. Over by you, Trattoria Romana is reopening today after taking about 3 weeks off. You have another place in Great Kills opening, which is it's called Emilio's restaurant, and that is an Italian restaurant that they have stuffed artichoke and things like that. So a lot of people are excited about that. In that shopping plaza, in Evergreen Shopping Plaza, it's signs of life are really in there. You know, like at the card store that's open, the liquor store that's open, the supermarket over there, Market Fresh, and it seems to be things are coming back. You know what I mean, for better or worse, because I don't know if we're exactly ready yet. We're still wearing the face masks and it's supposed to be social distancing. So, you know, more restaurants on the scene is more traffic. And hopefully that doesn't mean that, you know, we bring the virus back. But in any case, so we also have seen like Jade Asian Bistro is incredibly busy in New Dorp. So busy that they decided to close on Mondays just to give the kitchen a break. Jack Mao is open in Doggan Hills after being closed for a week. And
it was nice to smell that food yesterday. Yeah. Driving home, I go up the block there, and it was a breath of fresh air to smell food coming out of that kitchen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. I know we miss our Chinese restaurants in the neighborhood. I actually liked those smells of the dumplings and such. Also, Shishido, which is a Japanese restaurant on Richmond Road in Doggan Hills. It's a really nice Japanese place. It's a tiny little house, but they do such remarkable things with sushi, and the food is always so fresh. The gentleman there, his name is Raymond. He reopened the other day, and he is serving sushi. He's very small staff, so it's like, you know, you have to pick up. You can't get it delivered. And a lot of these places, it's probably better to pick up at this point. Also, Portobello Cafe has their buy one, get one free. And they also have a deal, which Adam Lenner, the owner, just announced. It's for every $100 donated to help the medical staff on the front line, Portobello Cafe will send 10 dinners to the hospital staff around the island. Oh. So, yeah, that's nice. My husband was driving around the city today because he had to make a delivery, and he went through Manhattan, and he couldn't believe it's like a ghost town, especially in Chinatown in the Bowery. It was crazy. It's like there's absolutely no traffic, very few cars and trucks on the road, you know, no restaurants, no deliveries. And he took a video of it. He put a little thing in the front window while he was driving, and it was like block after block of no people. And yeah, that's just a sign of our times. But on Staten Island, we're moving around. We're moving around a lot, actually.
Yeah, I can't believe how much I've seen traffic increase, I think, in the last 3 days.
Yeah, I agree.
I see people out more. I see people everywhere more. And like you said, listen, I hope that people are staying safe and still social distancing. But, you know what? I think people are starting to get a little bit of good news. So maybe they feel a little bit better about going outside. And it's a little scary for me. So I'll stay.
I know. I'm generally home. And I like literally, I'm working so much. I'm just literally working like 12 hours a day, and I'm pretty much sitting at the kitchen table here doing that. But you know, there is so much going on there. Also, interestingly, Ralph's Ices in Port Richmond is going to be opening on May 1st. We have a bunch of Ralph's that are open around the island: Huguenot and New Dorp, Princess Bay, and in Rosebank.
Yeah, the one on Bay Street, I think, is open.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one here in New Dorp was open, and then it was closed, and then it was open. Again, it's another one of those spots people are standing outside, and they were on top of each other, waiting just like they would in the regular summertime. And I just wanted to honk the horn and yell, "Can you just back off each other?" And it's a good opportunity. It's really the location is great because really the staff has plenty of space to separate from people. You know, as long as people are courteous amongst each other and staying away and, you know, properly social distancing. But it's nice to have Ralph's Ices open. We had the flagship guys on the other day, and we were talking with them about their announcement on their new hard seltzer, which is which will be exciting, which is really exciting. We're excited to actually see it and enjoy it and sell it.
Yeah.
That's very cool. At the High Rollers Club.
Yes.
Right.
Right out of the High Rollers Lounge. Absolutely.
High Rollers Lounge. Sorry. But can you just tell me the history behind the High Rollers Lounge? Like, how long has that been there?
The bar has been here since it was built as part of the place. The name, we never really had a name for it. It was just the bar, the lounge, call it whatever. It's had a little generation of names. And it was just something kind of just out of an idea. Hey, got to call it something, keep it within the theme.
Right.
So High Rollers came into that. We're talking bowling, but it really wasn't. I wish I had a fantastic story, and maybe that just sparked that we're going to have to now make one up.
Yeah.
Here you
We're
go.
gonna have to add some history to it.
Yeah, and it's every time I go back and I want it's some theming behind High Rollers and photos, and it's something that just I guess at the back burner. But during this, we have access to do that, so maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe we'll. We've got some great photos of some professional bowlers in the building and customers, and so maybe that's what we'll kind of gear it around High Rollers.
It's a good idea.
That's funny. Somebody just recommended Dennis. I guess you're referring to renaming the place or something. The Gutter.
That's Dennis for you.
And that goes back to a conversation yesterday about what we call the gutters and the channels. But yeah, it could be the gutter, for sure. We don't want people to fall in the gutter after leaving the bar.
That would not be good. But when this is all over, I'm really looking forward to getting back into the dining scene. I really am looking forward, and I've always appreciated the new restaurants at Irby in Stapleton, but I guess I have a new appreciation for them because some of the two ones, the ones on the ends in particular, they're so light and airy, like Sepe Restaurant. It's still open, and then there are two new restaurants on the other end of Irby, the ones that are on the water. One is Pasta Vino. They're open, and they are doing a nice job. They have a very talented chef there, Josh Lorano, and there's the manager there, John Corca. Very hard workers. They're open Thursdays through Sundays from like about 4 or 5, through the evening about 8 p.m. They package up some beautiful food. A lot of people have sent in some pictures of what some of the food looks like when they replate it. It's very nice. It looks like it's in a restaurant. They set up with a nice wine, or you can get bottles of wine from them. They have a beautiful wine list. Also, Eddie Gomez tells me that he is open today. The Cargo Cafe is open.
Okay.
I think he painted the outside of the building too. I think Scott was down there painting.
Oh, is he?
I think he painted the outside.
He is open, and let's see here. He's got basically, he said he decided to open for delivery starting today at 4 from the Cargo and Denoy on Fingerboard Road to Denoy on Fingerboard will be coming. Denoy in Victory in Favis will be coming next week. And then there's a different scenario going on there. So we'll find out more about that. Also, ShopRite has some new hours. They're now closed at 10 p.m. as opposed to earlier in the evening. They're going to keep, it looks like, at least through the pandemic, the early hours where senior citizens can go. And, that senior citizens can go between 7 and 8, and then the store opens to the public at 8 a.m. So
did I see that did they also change the policy on the online ordering? Did they just update that again? Did I see that?
Yeah, it's different. Like you don't have to wait 3 weeks anymore. Apparently now they guarantee that it's only 6 days, which is still a long time. But I mean, it's not like Met Foods is really long. Met Foods is like 3 weeks. I've gotten a lot of emails from readers about that, especially older people who want the secret phone number to ShopRite. And some of the other places, but like the Stop and Shops of the world and ShopRite, they're very overwhelmed, and everybody seems to be going there. So if you're lucky enough to get an order, together, you got to wait like a week to get it, basically. So yeah, it's a little bit better. But I'm sorry, Frank, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. I was just going to say that my ShopRite experience this week was much better than the last one. I didn't have to sit in the waiting room, which some people saw over high times. it was right before 8 o'clock, where it was actually right at 8 o'clock when the new times for the next day. My delivery was coming within 5 days. So much better than the last experience. Again, it's all, you have to hit it at the right time too. Yeah. So, and they're overwhelmed. And I totally understand that. I'm just not, I have no reason to go to the store.
Right.
So I have between Costco and ShopRite and then deliveries from Hillside, we've kind of everything staggered. And so far it's working. But you do
Very
do
smart.
the best that you can. You're trying.
Yeah.
That's very smart. I'm thinking, honestly, things have been so convenient working from home and making sure that, I can get all the deliveries and everything. I can't tell you, I think I'm going to change my shopping habits permanently because it's been so convenient this way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we talked a little bit about this yesterday, and you talked. I really am excited that the Chinese restaurants have opened up. They really They took it hard. They customers that didn't want to support the Chinese restaurants for many different reasons. So they were probably hit the hardest of all the small businesses, restaurants specifically. So nice to see them slowly opening up.
So it's also interesting too with the Chinese restaurants, and I was mentioning this before on my Facebook thing this morning, like what we experienced is probably can be likened to the stages of grief, on Staten Island. Seriously, we went through a very challenging time, like in late January and February, the virus being coined as like the Chinese virus, and people knowing that where it came from, openly, like they just got afraid and they didn't want to go to Chinese restaurants. And, so as much as we want the Chinese food back, we also created the problem with them disappearing because, we're afraid. But so in any case, on top of that, you have, like those layers of there's bargaining and anger. So, you blame somebody, you're looking to blame somebody. And then finally there's acceptance. It's like, okay, we're back and
where we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems, from my experience the other day ordering food, they don't have access to certain produce like they normally would. So they're on limited menus. But you know what? Support them and do what you can.
Absolutely.
If that's food that you like and want. I know I missed it, so it was nice. It wasn't my usual, but it worked for now.
It's interesting that you say that because like McDonald's on Page Avenue, somebody was saying that they went and they tried to buy a salad, but they had no greens. Like in any other time, it'd be like unheard of that, a McDonald's would not have an inventory item. Stuff like that. It's really wild. Also, Giove Pizzeria on New Dorp Lane is, they don't have any celery, octopus, or anchovies. So you can't get buffalo wings with celery sticks just for a day or so. That was yesterday. So, maybe today the situation's changed. Although I'm not sure about octopus because octopus is usually from Portugal and we're not getting a lot of shipments from Europe. So
we'll see. Hey, so you've invited some friends to join us today.
Yes.
You want to talk about them before we pipe them in first?
Sure. Well, first of all, there's Dr. Adrienne Ferretti, who is a Grasmere resident, and she also is a big gatekeeper of. Hi, Adrienne. She's the. She lives on Cameron Lake in Grasmere, and she is a big steward of the lake. She's gotten filtration systems, and she deals with the Parks Department. She's pretty amazing in how she's kind of helped that lake survive and revive. I know she's in New Jersey right now, and but she's got figs on her property. Her parents, planted them, and she's raised them. And she was the second Fig King crowned at our annual Fig Fest contest, which is our Fig Festivals every year, September 15th, rain or shine. We have been in the rain in these contests. Not contests, it's like a festival, basically. It's usually in Parkland, but parks throw us out. We were ejected from Midland Beach, where we had a space at the Turtle Fountain until we got too big. Got to be a couple hundred people, and the Parks Department got a little nervous. So we ended up moving it from place to place. So it's in a different location every year. And it's one of those elusive contests where we don't know what it's going to be definitively until 2 weeks before. But this year it has a home, thanks to Adrienne. Adrienne brought us to the Lighthouse Museum, and that's where it is anchored.
Perfect.
And Adrienne is terrific in helping putting that together. She's very meticulous. St. Joseph Hill Academy graduate, and where I went to school. And then our other guest is Peter Kandari, but I guess you want to introduce Adrienne, who, if you turn your head, you can see her, I guess.
Oh yeah. So hey, Adrienne, check your sound because we can't hear. You can hear us, but see if you're muted. Nope. Now you try it again. Any luck? We can't hear us. No. Jimmy, you know what? Do this. Exit and come back in. See if that works.
Well, is Peter on the line?
Peter is here. It looks like Peter might be on the phone and not video.
Peter? Hey, Peter. All right. So I like this new format that you have. I think this is great.
Is it good from your side too?
It's wonderful. I think it's terrific.
It's different for us.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's so I can see the comments a little bit better, and
Yeah, we can definitely. That's what we like. We like that we can see the comments really clear.
Yeah. So they both platforms have pros and cons, and so we're getting used to them. It's not 100% perfect, but we're going to see how it goes. But so far, it's been good. I like the fact that we can easily bring guests in. All right.
Hello.
There he
is,
is.
Peter.
hi, Peter.
Hello, everybody.
It's you see him. Oh, you know what? It might be because of he's not sideways for us, which is okay.
Well, what happened was my mom was trying to get to me, so I think the call kind of blocked out everything.
Oh, I could be.
Gotcha. She okay?
Yeah, she's hanging in there. Doing all right. How's everybody?
Everybody's great. And
Okay.
Peter is an expert in figs. He accidentally
No, don't go expert wise. Don't go expert.
Well, anyway, Peter's an expert in figs, and I consider him sort of the gold standard in whatever his opinion is of how things are growing, and he has quite a number of them in his backyard. And if you ever walk down Sycamore Street in Eltingville, you'll see about 5,000 pothead figs all over the place, and with tennis balls on the rods that are
The tennis balls. Nobody knows what they're
balls.
for.
And it's like, whoa, what's this? And it's this man's house. So it's Peter's house. Peter is the fig man. So
Let me ask you guys about she mentioned the tennis balls. Okay, now I put them on any stake that's like waist high or a little above, and people ask, why are those tennis balls on the stakes? And I said, well, take a guess. Then they say, well, to keep the bugs away, to keep it, a million, very few. I think only maybe 2 or 3 people over the years have got it. I was watching a gardening show one day, and on Channel 13, I believe, or PBS, whatever. And the guy was doing, some garden safety. And you put the ball on top, you slice the tennis ball. And I never employed it until one day I bent over to pick some peppers, and the stake got me in the eye, but I had eyeglasses on.
Peter picked some peppers.
Yeah, Peter picked some peppers. So I immediately ran to Modell's and bought the cheapest tennis balls by the bag. And like every stake that's kind of low has a tennis ball on it, because when you bend over, you just might not see it. And bingo.
Yeah.
Who knew? That's awesome.
Great tip. Better than losing an eye. Better than losing an eye.
Idea.
Great. Yeah, you're right. Better than losing an eye or getting poked as you're trying to do it. You get poked by everything else, branches and stuff. You don't want to be poked by.
Because you'll go right down onto it so hard.
And Adrienne, where are you?
I am on Route 9 in Freehold at Brock's, and we are doing the.
I love
we went to Gasco's. We're going to Brock's, and we're heading up Route 9 because I'm cracking up, and I need to get stuff for the garden. So I'm here. I've gotten kale. I've gotten all kinds of stuff, escarole, different kinds of tomatoes. I don't know, things that are just jumping out at me. I have no idea where they're all going to go in, but they're going in the ground soon.
Adrienne, is it escarole or scarole?
Well, it depends. If you're eating it, it's scarole. If you're planting it, it's escarole.
Well, hey, Peter and Adrienne, welcome to the party.
Yeah.
Welcome to Live from Rabs. It's great to have you join us. Adrienne, it's nice to see you. It's been a little while.
It has. It's been an interesting winter. Let's say that. I haven't seen you since the fall. But
since the fall. And on the last trip you had here, we were talking, and I brought you out to my garden, and I wanted you to check out my fig tree.
Yeah.
It started to bud, and we were getting ready for the winter. I didn't know what to do because this thing has died, came back to life, and budded, and then this mild winter happened. So we wrapped it up.
Got a perfect spot.
Yeah, it's so far okay. My landscaper might have unwrapped it a little too soon. I was a little upset with him, but I don't know. We're hoping that we've got life out of it this year.
Yeah, look for the little ends. Look at the little green tips.
So
You have a good spot. You have nice sun. I think you'll do fine.
I hope so.
So so if someone was to have a very small baby fig tree,
Someone like you.
somebody like me, what recommendations do you have for soil or location or whatever?
Sun.
Lots of it.
Lots of sun. I think it likes sun, and I put a little extra lime on mine, and if they're really small, I bury them over the winter. I dig up the side of the root ball, I lay them down in a trench, and I cover them with soil and bags of mulch, and I put them to sleep, and then I uncover them. When they get too big, then you got to wrap them so that they look like Frankensteins over the winter.
Right.
But when they're small, I bury the whole thing. I don't know. It's worked.
What about you, Peter?
I only do potted culture. I don't have any more fig trees in the ground because I got tired of the wrapping situation. But
The fig king is not has no fig trees.
I got plenty of fig trees.
He's
but they're
got
all
a million in pots. He
pots.
He knows
okay, so
everything.
And how I wrap potted fig. You want to know how you wrap a potted fig tree?
Yeah.
You keep your Lamborghini if you got one outside, and you bring your
Gotta have
fig trees in, and you put your fig trees in the garage.
All right.
Oh, okay.
It's the same thing as wrapping. It's the same theory. Just out of the elements, darken out the windows.
Okay.
It's cold. It's nice and cold in there, and they go to sleep.
Okay. So I'm kind of stuck right now between growing my vegetables in pots or doing a raised garden bed. Which do you think would produce a better outcome?
I would say a raised garden bed.
I think so too. There's something about pots; they dry out very fast. You have to
Right.
be careful. I mean, even if you put they make those clear water grabber stuff that you can mix in with your pots that retain water. But still, I think plants were meant to be in the ground, and I think your veggies appreciate it more. Just amend your soil. We have a lot of clay soil. You know, mix your peat moss, your compost. When I was a kid, my grandfather used to get the truckload of manure. We really smelled good that day. But you know,
I'll tell you a funny story.
Soil.
David, we have rabbit and chicken poop in our yard, and we back it up, and after we clean out the pens and stuff like that, a couple times a week. Anyway, so David has people buy it or they pick it up or we give it away, whatever. And so anyway, David was bringing it to a friend of ours, and one of the bags split open in his car, and it smells so ripe in there. It is like, I can't imagine like date night, going out and dressing up and getting in the car and it's smelling like poop. It's pretty awful. But anyway, that's my poop story for the day. That's it.
Everything will bloom nice. Everything will
We
bloom
started
nice.
talking about red poop.
Right. Stories today.
Well,
Somebody's asking, how do they grow seedless grapes? That's a good question.
Seedless grapes.
I don't know.
That's a trick question, man. But anyway, so you were saying, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I was just making fun of you that you had poop, but Peter was saying something.
Yeah. About the raised garden bed. If you want
Right.
to build a raised garden bed, it's a really easy way to do it instead of knocking yourself out. In the Home Depots on Staten Island don't have it, but in New Jersey, right over in Anvil, I think it's called Anvil, not far from here. They sell these blocks by a company called Old Castle, and you can make it. They're like 6 inches high, and a 6-inch board, like a 2x6, fits right into them. So the corners, like it's zip, 1, 2, 3. And
Wow.
then you just backfill it in with whatever the best soil you can get, and it takes no time at all to put this thing together. And
That's nice.
yeah, it's actually good. You look them up online, Old Castle, or just go into the Home Depot site and put in Old Castle. I don't know what they're called. Actually, maybe corner blocks, something like that, raised garden blocks. And so they're actually corners, and you could go like 2 high, 3 high, 4, as many as you want to go, and the boards just slip right in.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, like if you buy an 8-foot board, say, so you just put the blocks 8 feet, slip them in, but you do have to just slam rebar, like a 3-foot rebar down through the block. The hole's already there, and then every 3 or 4 feet, depending how long you go, you slam a rebar down so the boards don't bow.
Right.
You know, and it's sturdy. It's very simple. Instead of like with nail guns and screw guns and all that stuff, none of that needed.
We get a lot of requests for bowling pins to raise gardens. So they take in lieu of the blocks, they put the used bowling pins in the beds to raise them, you stagger them side by side.
Oh,
Really?
Wow.
We have plenty of them. So if anybody's out there looking for bowling pins
To fill the garden.
to fill up and build up.
Oh, I don't. So fill, right? As fill.
Yeah. So instead of using the blocks, you use the same concept of using the dead wood.
You know what? People get too fancy today because they spend tons of money on all this wrapping stuff. And years ago, like everybody had linoleum.
Yeah.
And when people threw it out on the sidewalk, like in Bensonhurst and all the Brooklyn areas, people walk by. You know, the old timers walk by, grab whatever you throw out, rugs. Linoleum was key. You know, and they did wrap their trees with that stuff. Now everybody spends a fortune on all this kind of stuff.
see, I think they should make decorative wrappings because I have to be honest. I would like to wrap my trees up, my big trees, and have them look lovely. Like maybe look like a soldier with the bucket on their head and make it look like a hat. You know, because I don't want to look like, you know, sometimes I look back there and it's terrifying. It scares me. I think there's like someone in the garden. But, you know, I think there should be lovely ones, lovely wrappings, you know.
Yeah.
It could be a cottage industry.
You're onto something, Adrienne. You're onto something.
That's it. You never know
There
what
you
else
go.
is there.
That's it.
Well,
Go on Shark Tank.
I apologize. I am going to have to go because I'm getting a little flag from somebody at work. So I just want to say thank you very much. And also, somebody has asked if we're going to have the Fig Fest again, and my guess is yes. And if we don't have the Fig Fest in person, if it comes to that, I think we should do a Zoom of all that.
I am in touch with the Linda Dianto at the Lighthouse Museum.
Oh, good.
I have to be honest, everything right now is up in the air.
Yeah.
But you never know what the future will bring. But I'm definitely hoping we have both Fig Fest and Lighthouse Point Fest, where we have the soup contest. But right now, it's too soon to make a prediction. But, you know, why not? At a certain point in time, let's get back on that horse. And
Yeah.
One day at a time.
that's it. You know, let's see what happens.
I'm going to bow out
Yeah,
and bye. I love you too. And I love you guys, Nazareth and Frank.
Take care.
Thank you, Tim.
So you guys stay on and talk figs. And goodbye,
Talk
Tom Brady.
figs.
So sweet of you. And goodbye, Ken. I'll see you guys. Thank you.
Okay,
Pam,
thank
a
you.
quick
Bye-bye.
reminder throughout too is right. Subscribe on SILive.com.
Oh, yes. SILive.com. And if you want to give a subscription voluntarily, you're welcome to do that. So it's $10 a month. So, but that's voluntary. So in the meantime, have a great day.
Pam is on at 9 a.m. every morning. She tells you the scoop.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is always a pleasure. I really appreciate you guys.
Thank
No, we appreciate it. And we'll see you
Love
next
you.
Thursday.
Thank you.
But
Pam's been awesome because she's every Thursday she comes on with us and we talk food, we talk about everything, and so it's cool.
Right.
Thank you two for joining us.
Yeah.
it's a pleasure.
Is also one of our judges of the North Shore Rotary Celebrity Chef event, and she brings such color to that as well. And so thank you for doing that.
I have to be honest. This talk about COVID-19. I have gained the COVID-19. the only thing I can actually deal with is cooking. I have cooked so much in the past month. I eat it, I give it away, I freeze it. I don't know what it is, but it's the only thing that makes me feel like it's natural, like it's going to be okay. It's my home. It's the thing that makes it home.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what I've been doing
it's
too.
nice.
It turned into a 5-star restaurant here.
Yeah. I mean, I've always loved to cook, but now it's like crazy. I go into the refrigerator. It's like, okay, what magic can I do with, some bizarre leftover? It's like, and it's good.
The same is happening in my house. It's great. I have early. I have it early every day and haven't eaten a home cooked meal so much. We've ordered out twice in a few weeks, so it's good too. And we're playing with all different types of produce that we get.
Yep.
So have you
Yes.
guys anything coming out of your pots over the winter that you've been using?
But this is just when I went to turn over my garden and get it ready for the season. My kale wintered over really beautifully. So now I have these giant kale Christmas tree lollipops there that I whack off, and I'm eating last year's kale, and I'm making big giant kale things. I give them away to people. Now you have to scrub it and you have to clean it, but it's tender and crisp and so delicious that I made. Oh gosh, we did sautéed kale with bacon and butternut squash. We did. I made stuffed peppers with, instead of spinach. My family recipe usually uses spinach, but I used kale and pork and lots of cheese and onions, and I stuffed the little peppers. I've been like a kale meister here. I'm loving it, and I feel so healthy too. I think I could be taller.
And plus, there's so much time. So, what else are
Yeah.
you going to do? So if you like to eat and you like to cook, it's perfect.
Absolutely.
Anything coming out?
Utilize the time. Utilize the time well. So
Yeah. Anything coming out of your pots or garden that you've been able to use from the winter?
actually, I didn't guard. I don't garden too much anymore in the raised bed because I put planks over it, so I could put my big potted fig trees over it. So you get the most sun because they need as much sun as possible. So I'm trying to, just concentrate on figs right now. So actually, the tomato thing is the last 2 years I haven't got into because I'm just bogged down with figs. I'm all figged up.
This is good to know. He's
Plenty of-
regular. He's very regular.
Very regular. There are plenty of things you could do with those figs. But I hear you're cooking artichokes as of late. Is that true?
Ooh.
Yeah, actually, I did that today. I made I don't know 6 or 8 or something, and stuffed artichokes. And my 2 daughters are passing by because everything's on the fly now. This is like the takeout place, I guess. and actually, my youngest daughter, she works in at a local nursing home here in Staten Island. She's the director of recreational rehab, and they're going through holy hell there.
Oh gosh.
And they lost one of their they lost their head nurse yesterday.
Oh my God.
To the virus, and it's really. So I mean, it is what it is with this thing. I mean, so they're, she's stopping by on her way home. She lives down Jersey by the shore, and she's going to pick up a few artichokes for her and her friend, and they're going to have stuffed artichokes or whatever else they make with it. I don't know, but I've been busy cooking like a maniac.
Yeah.
Lamb
See?
ragu. I made some lamb ragu out of it.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Oh man, forget it. The cheapest cuts too. The cheapest cuts. The shoulder is the best.
Oh yeah.
The neck bones, and it's just like a slow cook thing. Once you sear it all up and get it all together, and then you braise it for like 3 hours in the crock, in the oven. Forget it. I give it to my neighbor.
We may have to do a live show from a kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we'll do that, I bet.
Absolutely. Hey,
Yeah.
those artichokes, many people find it daunting task to use stuffed artichokes. So what's the best tip you could give for utilize for making stuffed artichokes?
Well, they are a little work. I scoop out the choke with a spoon. I get it out of
So
there.
do I know. You know what
And-
does it? A
You can
melon
stuff it
baller.
more. You can stuff it more.
Right.
You get more stuffing into the thing. And also, I used to go to this restaurant. I learned this from this restaurant, and they had the best artichokes ever. They were out in Queens, not there no more, called Salerno's. And if you know what sizzle plates are, so these are these metal plates they use in restaurants to do things fast. But anyway, after they made their stuffed artichoke, they would open it like a flower kind of and throw it under the broiler for like a little bit to just singe the edges of the artichoke to crisp them.
Yeah.
Oh my God, forget it. Out of this world. So
All
I got
right.
myself some sizzle plates. If you don't have sizzle plates, look them up. They're cheap. They're like $5 each. They come in aluminum and stainless steel. I just got mine, like my first ones, like a couple of weeks ago. And what I do is I roast Brussels sprouts on them. I cut like Brussels sprouts into 4s, and you put them in a bowl, a whole bowl full, and you put some garlic, some herbs from your garden, whatever you like with it, olive oil, mix them all up, get the oven at about 400, and have that sizzle plate, put them on a sizzle plate, put them in there, and in like 20 minutes, you have like the best Brussels sprouts you ever had in your life, and you sprinkle a little like locatelli cheese on it.
Ooh.
Forget it, home run. Like you do a million things with sizzle plates.
All right, I like it. Hey, question for both of you: what's your favorite thing to do with your figs?
Well, I know the doc
Figs.
makes a lot of things. The doc makes a lot of things.
Oh,
Your favorite head.
you know what? I really do love basically figs with either a blue cheese or figs with the prosciutto. To get a really delicious warm fig. And also what I do is I make whipped cream, but not sweet, and I put like really good blue cheese gorgonzola, and I whip that up together, and I put it in a squeeze bag like for decorating cakes, and I squish that. It's very light, so even if you don't really love the heaviness of the blue cheese, it's just so different and nice. The sweet of the fig, the gorgonzola. Oh my God, it's so good. And sometimes I bring that to Fig Fest, and because lately my figs have not been that good. So when guys come to Fig Fest and they have like a bucket of figs, I'm happy to say, hey, can I have some? Can we put some of my filling into your figs? But I love figs, and I think there are a lot of wonderful things you can do with dried figs too. Because I don't know about. I mean, Peter has fabulous, beautiful figs, but lately my figs I haven't gotten a lot. There have been years we couldn't keep up with them, but lately I have not really had a really good season. So I appreciate them when they're just fresh and gorgeous.
Yeah. I had this one variety of fig. It's a Greek fig, and it makes a big, like a bomb of a fig, and nice and big, and red blood inside, red interior. Anyway, cut them in half, and I would stuff a nice piece of dolce gorgonzola right into it.
Yeah.
And then wrap it with prosciutto, olive oil, a little black pepper, and put it on the grill. But when you do that, you have to have olives, some cheese, some crusty bread, a whole bunch of good things to go with it, and a good wine, and you're in heaven.
Yeah.
And I do love, that Pier 76 and a bunch of the restaurants in Staten Island, they will, in the fall, they'll make a fig pizza. It doesn't have tomato sauce on it, but the fig pizzas with cheese and stuff, they are absolutely delicious. And maybe some cooked down balsamic vinegar drizzled on the top.
I love it.
I mean, how bad could it be?
Yeah. I love that with a fresh arugula on it.
Yep. Yeah.
One of my favorites.
It's good, but it's something to look forward to. I think we all need something to look forward to, and figs are it.
I'm in. I love to grill them. I love to grill them in all different ways. I've wrapped them in prosciutto and grilled them with a little balsamic after. One of my favorites.
I do the fig shortcakes. I do the fig. I'll mix fig. If I don't have a lot of figs, which frequently I don't, I'll mix them with pears or apples and stuff, and I'll make fig strudel. And figs are great. You don't even necessarily need a lot of them. Right. To add flavor and some interest to anything. And of course, in a salad, a couple of pieces of fig, it brings it to a whole different level, And you could take your cheese and use the a peeler and make strips of Swiss cheese or Swiss of pieces of cheese to go in it. Try different shapes, different cheeses. Stinky cheese is very good with figs.
All right, now I'm hungry. Yeah. I don't have any figs at home.
There's no figs at home.
Oh, I can't. Too funny. No, we lost you. We lost you there, Pete.
Oh, sorry. I was choking because I'm in a place that everything is in bloom.
Oh God.
Everything is in bloom. Every cherry tree, every apple tree we pass, and I'm just. It's not a virus I'm coughing about. It's my regular allergy season cough.
Yeah.
But it's just, I was so happy to get out.
That's a good thing. Hey, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you guys.
We really appreciate you guys coming
Thank
in
you for having me.
and part.
We're gonna have Peter come back and do a little segment for us.
Yeah, no, not coming through.
There you go.
Yeah, now
now
we
it
go.
is. We just heard you.
Maybe he can't
You
hear
may
us.
not hear us. So we were just saying thanks for coming on. I'll shoot him a message separately. I don't know. We heard him there.
These electronics.
Oh,
Hey, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you soon.
yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. And we're gonna have you back on because I want you to talk. I want you to be at the lake and talk about the lake.
Absolutely. I would be so happy to do that.
And then you could do it live on set where you could show us the beautiful lake in the
Right.
background.
Yeah, sure.
So,
Anytime.
all right. We'll
Okay,
be in
take
touch.
Oh,
care.
you can hear me.
Thank you. Thank you. You
Oh, okay,
too.
'cause I can't hear you
Okay,
guys.
bye.
Yeah, I can't hear you guys. I'm not an electronic genius.
So I sent him a message
But-
letting him know that we were just saying thank you for joining us today. We will. I love the idea of doing maybe we'll have him from his kitchen.
That would be great.
Yeah, the stuffed artichokes. That's something. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
and
in.
he's probably got a couple little tips and things that he does that make it a little bit easier, or
Yeah.
obviously he's perfected it, so
You never know who's going to join us.
never know.
So I thank Pam. Pam, as always, thank you.
Are you saying Pan?
I'm saying Pam. Pamela.
Pamela.
Pam. And for introducing us to Peter and Adrienne.
Yes.
Adrienne is
She's
a lot of fun.
a funny lady.
And she's got some great stories that she's always willing to tell. And really, we will have her back to talk a little bit about the Cameron Lake and the
that would
work
be
that
great.
she's been doing there to keep that going. It's always about food. So if you guys have any questions that you want to share with either Peter or Adrienne at another time, I will certainly shoot those over.
Yeah.
If you're working on your gardens or your pots, I really like the pot idea. And I could do that. My car doesn't really fit in the garage. Plus, there's other stuff in it.
Oh, about wintering it.
But
in
wintering
the,
wintering in the garage, I think
Yes.
that's a great solution.
Yes.
We've got on the side of the house, we have mostly herbs, nothing
Right,
else.
right.
And then here, outside the bowling center,
Yeah,
Russ,
Russ has a little garden out there.
it keeps multiplying. We've got a strawberry bed, we've got the fig trees, we've got garlic, and we started planting the garlic around the fig trees to keep the bugs away.
Right.
Which actually was a tip from Dr. Ferretti, and then something he had read. And so I always send her pictures and call her and ask her, hey, something's wrong. What's going on?
That's going on.
Because that fig tree actually died off and came back.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
The figs are kind of hardy. I mean, they'll, if you take care of it, basically. I'm considering doing a raised bed because I've done stuff in pots and I do agree that it does get dried out, and it just seems like it's a lot more work in a pot. So I might try a little raised bed. I got have a little space in my backyard. I might try that. I might try it.
Now that I'm home a little bit more, maybe I'll.
This is the perfect time. Run over to Home Depot, get the all castle blocks, and build yourself. Grab some pins. You're all set.
Yeah, the problem with all of that is that we're gonna, after this,
I know. We're gonna be
reality sets back in, and how do I then go back to tending to it? My mother loves the herbs, and so we do.
Yeah.
I get my gardening fix here, Russ and I,
Yeah.
and Russ grabs Billy, and him and Billy go out there, and we've got a couple blueberry bushes. They haven't really been as productive as we like them to, but we're trying.
It takes a little. I think a lot of times with fruit trees, they need to mature a little bit. So.
The herbs we get out of here are great.
Yeah.
We've got parsley and basil, you name it. We had lavender growing for a little while. The mint grows crazy.
Yeah, mint grows really
And
quite
the tip
well.
with that one is lining the bed with plastic so it doesn't, because the mint can take over the garden.
Yeah.
So it's fun. We enjoy it. So we got parsley growing now in the vestibule, along with a lemon and an orange tree. So if anybody's been through the vestibule over the last several months, there are 2 trees and another pot.
I will say that in the Misfits box, or the subscription that Frankie and I got some big lemons. They were big lemons.
Huge. They were
huge.
ginormous.
They were big.
They were like the Italian lemons. Did they still have the leaf on them?
No, they
like
didn't.
A lot
have
of times
leaf.
when you get you see the big ones.
Yeah, no, they didn't have a leaf on it, but they were big. So it was nice. I made some nice lemon water and keep the mint confined in a confined area.
Well, yeah, because it could overgrow the garden. That's the issue.
Yeah.
And yes, the bait I have, and apparently one of my basil thieves knows where the basil is. And you're very welcome. There's plenty of it. We always share, but it goes back and forth. I mean, the Rourkes have lots of tomatoes, and last season they didn't have success with all the tomatoes that they potted in the backyard. Stephanie was getting mad that we had so many tomatoes growing out of this garden, and so taking them home and enjoying
maybe
them.
Again from what they said, because here is a bed. We have a bed here,
right?
As opposed to growing them in a pot, which I think is
the sunlight. Though here we get the sun.
You have a nice direction for
and
sun.
Bounces off the building, so like you have it happens to be a really good spot,
right? And you really don't have any trees blocking it, which is the only thing that I worry about at my house because there's a lot of tree cover. So I don't know. I'm gonna try it. I think I'm gonna try the figs, the tomatoes, and definitely the herbs.
Now I want figs.
Yeah, that's the only problem.
We're talking about something we just really can't have at the moment.
Well, I actually had one of those fig pies from Pier 76. It was
I love that.
It was delicious.
We like to grill them, put them on the salad. I like the pizza.
Yep.
Or just eat them out of the refrigerator. As a kid, it's one of those are one of those fruits as a kid, like you just wouldn't.
Yeah, well, because it's not kid friendly. It's not
the little seeds.
It's
they're great. Thing. So here we talked about food today. Pam gave a little Pam's update. Go back to if you go to silive.com, check out Pam's food diary. She's updating everybody on what restaurants are open and closed, and she goes live every morning at 9 a.m.
She's great, very informative. A lot of times she has the restaurant owners in the feed.
Yeah.
So they're talking back and forth and they're giving updates on what they're doing. So it's a great resource to have. You know?
And Vicky Fischetti just joined us. And Vicky, you just missed the conversation about all the figs. We just had a conversation right up your alley. Look at that. I got 2 puns in today.
2.
Vicky, you missed out, so now you're gonna have to go play it back. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So Thursdays next week, Pam will be back, and you never know who our
she's
guest
gonna
will
bring
be.
with her. Yeah,
it's funny. Pam and I go back and forth, and she says, "Oh, have you asked this one?" Yeah, let's ask this one. And we had a few different people lined up for today, so we're just working on.
Yeah, that's great.
The next couple weeks. However, I do like, and John Wilder's just named the segment in the kitchen. So we're gonna figure out a way to do whether we bring Peter back, and Peter, if you're listening,
that would be awesome.
Maybe you'll do a demonstration from your kitchen.
Yeah.
And show off what's happening over there.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Or even if Pam and we get David on the line too.
Or any of our bowlers, if you like to cook and you want to come on and show us one of your recipe creations, have at it.
We're in. We like it.
Yeah.
So you heard it here first. Look at that. Things just live happening. You never know what's going to happen here.
It's craziness.
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
Crazy. And I like this. The sizzle plate suggestion is awesome.
Yes.
And I have seen them. I don't have one. I'm going to go check it out. That's one of the first places I'm going to go check out with lots of uses. First, before we talk about the rest of the weekend, because we have the weekends coming, yes?
Coming up. You know what that means.
Let's share the meme of the day.
Let's do that.
The meme of the day comes, we're back to Michael and Jimmy, which is a very similar position that they're in at the moment.
I'm trying to frame it.
And Terry Hart, this was her submission.
It is pretty funny. For Terry, I think that's pretty funny. Look, Simba, everywhere the light touches is our kingdom. I love that movie.
Can you do that again? Do the look Simba again?
Look, Simba, everywhere the light touches.
She's been obsessed with Simba.
Is our kingdom. Yes.
to have a stuffed Simba.
Yeah, I,
I
did.
know.
As an adult.
Yeah, it was in the office too. We're Lion King fans, so I thought that we're Disney fans, but the Lion King.
If somebody could explain to me why Disney kills off the parents at the beginning of every movie or Disney.
It's a Disney recipe.
You just stop killing people.
You open but again, it comes back to
engaging.
It tells the story. So sadly, you gotta.
There are other stories to tell.
There are plenty of them, but lots of them do. And it's a lot of the animal movies that somebody dies first. Bambi, Finding Nemo.
Yes, it's the parents.
Yeah,
something happens to the parents in the movies, and not just the human parents, animal parents.
Right, and it's they persevere.
They do, and I know that's Disney.
But yes, you're right,
and
you're
it's
right.
great. But it would be good to have a nice Disney movie.
The Jungle King, we don't really know what happens.
Yeah, there's some.
Robbie's just, there's just
right. Some of them are just strange.
You know what? Those are some of my favorite movies, especially as a kid.
They are.
And the cool part, our niece and nephew have slow starting to getting to the old animation.
Well, yeah, because
it's not
can
the
you
same.
imagine what it looks like to a kid to see old animation when they're so used to things looking so lifelike?
Right.
I mean, the animation now looks lifelike.
Right.
They look at old stuff like when I was a kid and I saw Steamboat Willie, I was like, I could have drawn that. So,
but he's so iconic.
He is, and look what he grew into. It's just your reference.
Yeah.
You'd rather see something that you're used to seeing.
Oswald. I mean, you look about where Oswald and now Mickey Mouse, where we're today. And of course, we could rely on Joni Pesolano telling us and
It's
reminding
true,
us that
Joni.
Disney
She
is
knows
traumatic.
it is traumatic.
Anyway, we were talking about food all this time. We moved on to
Disney.
so thank you, Terry, for your
Yes, that was very funny.
that was good.
Even for Terry, that was funny for Terry.
look, Simba.
Everything the light touches.
So tomorrow is Friday.
Tomorrow's Friday.
We have a special guest. Our special guest tomorrow is Chuck Gardner, the one and only Chuck Gardner.
He is one and only, and he's great. And he will answer bowling questions. It'll be nice to be talking about bowling again. We've had a nice week of talking about a lot of different things, but we're gonna go back to bowling. And if you have bowling questions, he's a great guy to ask. He's very knowledgeable.
Inside information on the tour, which we won't ask him too much. We won't get him in trouble. Coaching tips. He's great on the lane, and as a bowl rep, he's been out there. He's been on the tour for a long time, and he knows so much about our game. And it'll be nice to talk with him tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I even mentioned he has been here. He's done some coaching clinics, and looking forward to having him tomorrow. And then Saturday, Joe Calandrillo comes back.
Thank God,
to the
Joe.
studio.
We'll have to reseat the
Yoda.
the diffuser and Yoda. So
who's here Saturday with us?
Saturday, come on. It's Mike Albee, PBA Hall of Famer. And I think he's a USB-C Hall of Famer too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. He's iconic lefty, great bowler, and I'm looking forward to him being a really good guest. I really feel like the next 2 days, I love everybody we've had all week, like I said. But the next 2 days are going to be exciting bowling wise.
Yep. And then before we know it, a new week will start. Episode 33 to 38 of the quarantine, and we've still coming live from Inside Rabs.
We're still here.
We're still here. We've only missed one day in the middle of all that to enjoy the holiday. So we really appreciate you tuning in and being a part of what we are doing here, and we love hearing from you. So please continue to share your thoughts.
Share with your friends. Share our feed. Share our YouTube. Like, subscribe, all the fancy stuff.
And now go work on your gardens. Today's not the best day. That's the challenge with the weather. We had that beautiful couple of days, and then bang, the cold comes and the wind comes.
Yeah.
You don't really want to be out in the garden. And so pick your days. But hey, hopefully we might have inspired you to eat out, support your local restaurants and small businesses at the same time. go check out your gardens and see what you got growing. And if you do garden, share that with us.
Yeah.
Why not? Share what's happening around your house. Of course, we want to see your pets for our pet of the day segment.
Yes.
We're getting light on the, we've gotten some more submissions, but keep sending them in. We had a lot. We had the
live
pet of the day.
Pyrenees, Great Pyrenees.
I told you at the end of the show, Naz would figure it out. Look at that.
That is what
Presley.
he is partially Pyrenees and lab and something else. Awesome. Bernese Mountain Dog, maybe.
Sure. Now you just made that up.
I know. Oh, it's really true. You really can't tell. Yesterday we talked about Ancestry. We're talking about Ancestry.com, which they have for dogs.
They do.
If you want to try to figure out what breed your dog might be, and I thought about doing it, but then I read about it's not really accurate, and I would have only done it just because you like to know what health issues they might come upon or things like that. But
I think that's a lot of, especially for the animals, knowing the health issues, especially those that are adopted or rescued, right?
Not knowing. But so far he's been good, and we haven't had many problems. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in and watching us. We love doing this.
Yeah.
We're having some fun.
Yes.
We were extended till May 15th. We really don't want to have to go longer than that, but
we really don't, and we hope that
we want everybody to be healthy.
The trend continues down.
Right. That's important, but we know that it's important for everybody to be healthy, and we'll be back at it as soon as we can.
Yeah. Yep.
So like and share. If you're watching us on YouTube, you could be watching us live on YouTube, and I wouldn't even know at the moment. But if you're watching us, be sure to subscribe. If you like, and make sure you like our page so you get notified when we're going live. Thank you to Pam, Adrienne, and Peter. It's like a band.
Peter, Paul, and Mary. Pam, Adrienne, and Peter. I just showed my age there. Peter,
You did.
Paul, and Mary.
I know who they are. But yes. Naz, what are we trying to do here?
We keep it real, Frank.
We do.
We keep it real.
Well, thanks for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow here live at 2 p.m. or 2:04 or 2:05 or 2:02.
2:06 or right.
You don't know.
Get your bets ready tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow, Naz.
That was awesome. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching.